Hey guys, this is Delmage. Along with me, as always, is Buckshot. Today we're going to be showing you guys a PvT, Protoss versus Terran. It is going to be a 4-gate proxy rush game by the Protoss player, which is me, up in the top left corner here. Down in the bottom right, we have our Terran player, Rothdog. To pull off the 4-gate proxy rush, the first thing you're going to want to do is drop your pylon at 9 supply, like you're always going to want to do with Protoss. And the biggest key to this strategy is making sure that you drop a pylon as you attack down by your enemy's base. You're going to want to drop this pylon somewhere near their ramp, where you can constantly supply your army with reinforcements, and basically you're just going to be trying to apply constant pressure throughout the entire attack. So as you can see right now, I'm bringing my probe down to scout. I'm trying to find where the Terran player is. It turns out he's in this base. He's right across from me, so pretty lucky placement here. It's going to be easy to get my first attack down there pretty quickly.
Something that is very powerful about the proxy 4-gate, you'll notice that in other rush strategies for other races, they have to run very long. It could be a very long rush distance. So say if Delmage, he did spawn here, but say our Terran player spawned down here and Delmage was Terran, he would have to run all the way down here, keep going, and then just to reinforce a rush. So it's not very effective. With the proxy 4-gate, even if he was at a long rush distance, put a pylon here, warp in units, you keep the rush going, and it's very, very hard to stop, actually. It is a very powerful strategy that is very effective even all the way through the diamond level. So this is something that all you Protoss players should definitely learn how to do. It's really fun to pull off, and we'll show you some cool tricks how to do it.
So as you can see, I've dropped my cyber core. Just a little side note about the build order here. I built my pylon first, then I instantly chronoed out 2 probes before I dropped my gateway. As the probes were building, then I went down, I dropped my first gateway, and then my next building was my assimilator for the gas. You want to get that up early so you can get that gas supply going, but to pull off an effective 4-gate rush, you only want one assimilator. You do not want to put down both. You're not going to need that much gas as you're reinforcing your units, because all we're building is stalkers and zealots. We're not building any sentries with this. So you're going to want to save those probes for the minerals to keep the minerals high. You can see as soon as my cybercore finished, I started chronoing out my warp gate technology, and now I got my first zealot out for early defense, which is going to come in very handy here. And I also am starting to drop my pylons and my other gateways.
Now, something with the 4-gate proxy, you want to get your 4 gates down as quick as possible. Right now is something part of the game we're going to show for Terran players, that this is very important to micro your Marines against a zealot, because we're going to see how powerful a zealot can be with a slight miss micro from the Terran. So if we just pause it here, actually, you'll notice that the zealot is right at the top of the ramp, ready to go. And if we actually turn on the sight, you'll notice that they can't see the zealot because he's at the top of the ramp. They have to run all the way up, and then they're going to be right in the zealot's face, which is where he wants to be. So as you can see is what happens here. They're going to run up the ramp, and now the zealot is right there already chopping away at these Marines. And obviously right here, one Marine goes down already. There's an SCV to tank it. Take these 2 Marines, run them back to about here, shoot, and then run them back even further. This is how Marines will kill a single zealot very easily, and if he did this, Delmage would have been in a lot of trouble. Although he did have a stalker coming out right now, which helps the zealot be a total boss and survive the rush almost all by himself. That's an MVP zealot of the game right there.
He dies later, but
yes,
he gets a Medal of Honor for that.
He gets the Medal of Honor. Our Terran player is now dropping 4 barracks. A little unorthodox, seeing as the standard is 3. You can produce off of 4 barracks on 1 base, although it's not easy. You have to have your mineral count pretty spot on, and he's not even getting a second gasp, so that will be pretty Marine heavy, even though he has 3 tech labs. Now that's a problem. He got 3 tech labs without a second gas. You can't produce 3 sets of Marauders with upgrades off of only 1 gas. You were going to need a second gas, which he's now doing.
So, as you guys can see, I've already started my attack. I only have 3 Stalkers and 1 Zealot. This is very important. For the 4-gate proxy, you want to start this attack very early. You can see I've started my pylon, and it finishes. As soon as this pylon finishes, I'm going to warp in units. You can notice my mineral count has been saved up. I have warp gate technology already. I instantly warp in 3 Stalkers and another Zealot. Now my army, compared to his, is a lot better. I have Stalkers going up against Marines. Stalkers are going to beat Marines any day of the week as long as the numbers are anywhere close to even. If you notice, I'm at 38 supply, he's at 33 supply. So I'm already going to win this battle. And with my proxy pylon right next to his base, you can see when that proxy finishes, I'm actually going to be able to warp units into his base, which, if he would have been a normal Terran player and blocked his ramp off, this would even be more powerful, because once I had sight on top of the ramp, and I was shooting his supply depots and any of his other buildings, I would be able to warp in Zealots behind his wall to keep attacking his Marines. But since he didn't block off, I can just run right up the ramp anyway, but it's still a good idea. So as you can see, the battle becomes pretty one-sided. I sniped this Marauder here. You always want to focus fire down the Marauders first, because they're the ones that do all the damage to your Stalkers. The Marines aren't going to be able to handle it. So as I'm going through the battle, I notice my numbers start getting a little thin. I pull my damaged Stalker back, and using that proxy, now that I have sight there, I warp in the rest of my reinforcements, and right now the game is pretty much over. He's pulled his SCVs, and I have way too many units for him to even think about winning this battle.
So as you can see, very effective against Terran, very effective against any race. There's the GG. He doesn't actually GG. He's a sword Terran loser and just leaves. Something to note just about build orders, just 4 gateways, very simple. You want to chrono boost out, warp gate technology, you drop your cybernetics core as soon as possible, start warp gate technology as soon as possible, and chrono boost it as hard as you can. Get your 4 warp gates, bring down a probe, start the attack, keep placing pylons. If he had more, if the Terran player had more, had a higher army count, it would be wise to bring in another probe once you break in, just to keep laying down pylons so it's even quicker reinforcing, or in case your pylon gets sniped for whatever reason. So this is the 4-gate proxy. It's our second video of StarCraft 2 EDU. Hopefully you'll subscribe and send us your videos. Thanks.
Thanks.